The night my husband told me to apologize to his sister or get out of his house, I stood beside her chair and said, I already sent everything to the FBI. Her face went white. For 6 years, my husband's family treated me like the boring wife. I was a senior aerospace engineer outside Seattle. At home, Calvin told people I worked with computers. His older sister Cassandra was the family star. She called herself a real estate developer and drove flashy cars. Every achievement of mine got compared to one of hers. When I finished my master's degree, Cassandra had closed a huge deal. When I won an engineering award, everyone wanted to hear about her vacation property. Then, at a cookout, Cassandra handed me the grill tongs because the heat was bad for her skin. While I cooked, she grabbed my wrist and mocked the old Seiko watch my father gave me before he died. You're an engineer and you still wear this? My dad gave it to me. She smiled. Sentimental doesn't mean expensive. I looked at Calvin. He heard everything. He just gave me his usual hand gesture. Let it go. Later, my brother-in-law Gregory pulled me aside. He was a tax attorney. Cassandra had asked him to review contracts for one of her developments, and some signatures looked wrong. His wife invested $10,000 from their children's college account anyway. 2 weeks before my in-laws' anniversary dinner, I told Calvin I had been recommended to lead a new defense project. He asked, does it come with a better car? Then he told me Cassandra was bringing a billionaire investor to dinner. He looked at my gray suit and said, that makes you look like technical support. I'm not technical support. I know, just be impressive, and if you can't, be invisible. The night before the party, Cassandra's company appeared inside a pension fund report I was reviewing. $20 million had been transferred to a development she claimed was under construction downtown. I knew the site. There was nothing there but weeds and fencing, so I followed the money. It moved through shell companies and into accounts covering personal debts. Her father's retirement money had been used as collateral. His house and cabin were heavily leveraged. Several signatures looked forged. Even Cassandra's yellow Lamborghini was just a corporate lease, so I copied the records, filed a compliance report, and sent the evidence where it needed to go. Then I wore the gray suit. At dinner, Cassandra seated me near the kitchen while Calvin sat beside her. She spent the evening bragging about projects, investors, and real ambition. Then she stood for a toast. She praised her parents. She praised Calvin. Then she looked at me. Minnie is reliable, she said. A few people laughed. Dependable. But reliable isn't exciting. My brother deserves someone who matches his potential. The table went quiet. I looked at Calvin. 6 years of swallowing little humiliations. He lifted his wineglass and said nothing. That silence answered everything. I put down my napkin and stood. Cassandra smiled like she had won. You should probably sit down, I said. She laughed. Why? Is the engineer going to investigate me? No, I already did. I looked at the investor she had spent all night trying to impress. I told him about the $20 million pension transfer, the shell companies, the missing development, and the forged guarantees. He opened the documents I had sent him earlier. Cassandra, is this your signature? She started talking about bridge financing. He cut her off. You used my name. My father-in-law shoved back from the table. You told me those papers were routine. Cassandra turned toward him. Dad, please. His voice cracked. You emptied my retirement? Nobody laughed now. Calvin finally stood, but not to defend me. You humiliated my family. Your sister stole retirement money. She made mistakes. $20 million isn't a mistake. Then he said, you've always been jealous of Cassandra. I felt strangely calm. He still believed the fantasy. Then he looked at me and said, apologize to my sister or leave our house. I walked around the table and stopped beside Cassandra. For 1 second, she looked relieved. I'm not sorry. Then I looked back at Calvin. And I already sent everything to the FBI. Cassandra dropped into her chair. My mother-in-law started crying. My father-in-law stared at the table. Calvin said, you destroyed my family. I picked up my purse. No, your family was already doing that. I walked out. Outside, I passed Cassandra's yellow Lamborghini and got into my old Honda. For years, they treated that car like proof she was better than me. Now I knew the truth. It wasn't hers. Neither was the life she had spent years pretending to own.